Linh-chan and Dimi-chan play games. Hello and welcome back, everyone. This time I'm giving it a try. I don't know if I'll do any better. There you go.
Anyway, continuing our topic from yesterday, we never finished. Dimitri just decides to just stop in the middle and just say, "See you tomorrow."
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Anyway, see, it's messed up like that. But yeah, we were on the topic of, copyrights material and stuff like that. And it seems like a lot of people who are on Etsy don't understand that they need to get permission. And Etsy doesn't do a very good job at making sure that people do that either. Because in the end, every time you post something onto Etsy, you make money out of it. They make money out of it.
Yeah.
And every time you are able to sell these kind of copyright material, they don't care because in the end, they're protected by the contract that you have with them. The fact that you agree to sell stuff on their website, that means that you take responsibility when it comes to a lawsuit against you for copyright material. They have nothing to do with it. The fact that you agree to sell stuff, meaning you say that if you are ever being sued, it's your responsibility at that point. And so in the end, they don't care whether you have copyright material or not.
Yeah, because they stand to make money regardless.
Yeah, they make money regardless. And so I see a lot of people make like t-shirts, drawing, prints, like all sorts of derivative arts, like plushies of like Disney character. And Disney isn't known to be nice when it comes to business, Disney don't give a shit about anybody. And
yeah, they're mostly out there to sue people that make Disney characters without permission, and they make a lot of money off
that. And the
that.
fact that those stores are still online, it just means that they just haven't been caught yet. But once they do, it's not a good thing, especially for people who do Disney-related stuff.
Yeah, if you think about it, the company's not out there to make a lot of money by like constantly checking the store to see if anyone is doing anything that's not allowed. But they do make a lot of money the second that it's like been okay, quote unquote, for years, and then they show up all of a sudden. They say like, "Oh, yeah, all 10,000 of you that have been doing this, you now owe us $10,000 each. Have fun."
Yeah.
Or we're suing you for millions of dollars and like ruining our image and all sorts of underhanded tactics in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on Reddit lately, and there's like an Etsy subreddit, so people are talking about it, and like on the side, it's really interesting because on the side of edit, on the right side of the page, normally it lists all the rules, like what's allowed and what's not allowed, and I guess people have asked so many times because they find the need to put this in text first thing under in the Etsy subreddit column. The first thing they said is that like there are a lot of people, like copyright and trademarks is a big issue. So you need permission to sell or post or do anything related to copyright material. And if you are still up there, that means you just haven't been caught yet, so don't do it. Like they were warning people, So I guess a lot of people have asked about this issue.
And again, a lot of people feel like the worst that can happen is like whichever company owns the copyright is just gonna ask them nicely to take it down.
Yeah.
No, if they're making money off of it, they are going to seek money from it.
Yeah. And we've read a lot of really bad stories about it. People who got sued from, Nintendo and whatnot.
It's not only Nintendo, like people get sued by Universal Studios.
Yeah. Oh, Universals are assholes.
Time Warner, Comcast.
Yeah, they would. Those people would.
And they're out there to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog talks.
But there is just keep going. No, keep playing. There is a way to get around it though, and one is to get permission from them to sell their work, and 2 is to like attend like especially if you're doing like anime related stuff, you can attend like artist alley at conventions, at anime conventions, because for some reason when you're at an anime convention it's allowed to do derivative work.
It's not for some reason, it's because they want to encourage the community to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's a tradition from Japan specifically, because there's a lot of there's something called Doujinshi, and in Japan, basically these are fan-made comics, like using the characters from the original work, and they allow these to exist one day out of the year to be sold en masse and make as much money as they want, and the original copyright holders don't press charges for that one day of the year, and that's at like Comiket, which is not Comiket. Is it Comiket? I don't know. Whatever that big convention in Japan is. I can't think of it.
I don't follow. But yeah, so
you can do that at like the artist alley.
Yeah, eventually. But
you can only do it with regards to copyright, not with regards to trademarks. So that does not, just because you can use someone else's characters does not mean that you can use their logo and all of that. Like that's another thing. Trademark, they cannot silently ignore. If the company does not fight after their trademark, then they will lose it, like legally. So you will always get sued for using someone else's trademark. So don't do that.
Well, trademark is what? It's
usually it's anything with a TM next to it, or a R, like all those logos. Usually logos, titles, names, those things are typically trademarked. But they always have to say when they're trademarked, so that makes it a little easier to not get screwed over by it.
You will do as I say. Surrender yourselves at once.
Surrender.
Someone help! What's he? Oh my gosh.
What on earth is going on here?
I have no idea. This game is so confusing and it's stupid.
Run, giggle.
He looks all, don't move.
Well, this is another game that Nintendo released recently, right?
It's not Nintendo. I think it's Sega.
Oh, whatever it is.
That company that used to make the Dreamcast. Now they just make Sonic. Actually, they only own Sonic. I don't even know if Sega still makes the games. I think they just license it out to other companies. So they say, hey, other company, you can make a game with our characters.
Nah, I wouldn't know. I don't really follow these people.
Goo. Oh, they found the goo.
Well, so far I find this game very boring.
That's correct.
But that's Tetris though.
Yeah.
Maybe we try a different mode. Like not the adventure one, but like a challenge one. Maybe.
Well, these are challenges.
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
just
But like
with
the story takes up like 90%, like I don't know,
I skipped it.
60% of the
Skipped it. Our viewers will
of the-
not be able to know the
of the
story.
thing.
Here you go.
What's my task?
And beat the other person.
Oh, it's so windy outside.
Seriously, is that from in here?
Yeah.
Let me go get that. Talk.
I don't know what I'm talking about. We're done, I think. Copyrights. We're done with copyrights.
Talk. Tactics. Taco.
Well, recently we went to a meetup, and I didn't know such a thing exists. And Meetup, it's actually an app called Meetup. And I don't know whoever came up with this idea, but I think it's so awesome. It allows people with similar interests, but don't know if there's anybody around, but like don't know anyone around them that like are into that interest. And so they go into this app, and then like based on your interest, you can just like look it up, and there's people from around the city or around the state, the country, whatever, you know, that share the same interests as you, and then you just go and you meet these people and you interact and make friends and, you know, get to know other people, and I think it's really cool. Recently we went to a Chinese one, a Chinese language one.
So I was actually expecting it to be more of like people that all spoke a little bit Chinese, and they all want to kind of more or less practice with each other.
That's
But
what
it-
I was hoping.
But it was more like, not that this was bad, but it was more along the style of like someone teaching it,
Yeah.
which was interesting.
Well, so it's not really like a meetup where you go and make friends and like have a good time and like practice your language skills.
The making
like
friends and having a good
literally-
time there is
It's
still there.
This one that we went to was literally a class where we met up at like a little local coffee shop, and it was literally a class. There was like a teacher or whatever, and we sat down and we talked about things and we learned how to speak. You know, in the end, it was nice. It was cool for those who don't know the language. You know, but I was actually, like you said, expecting people to already know the language and you'd be there and just try to practice. So, but there's all sorts of meetups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that that's like what every meetup is.
Yeah, this is just one of the. It was the first one that we went to that was like that. And I mean, eventually we want to continue doing different kind of meetups, but you know, once we have time and stuff. But yeah.
Is everyone satisfied now?
We'll goo together next time. Bye everyone. Linh-chan, Dimi-chan, Linh-chan, Dimi-chan.